Ghost game is probably not a game I'm going to end up playing. Does have some interesting things there. Could have a good time with it. But as we ultimately see here, you could also have a bad time with it. So what ultimately happens here? Let's find out here, starting with the IMDb plot. Follows a thrill-seeking couple who set their target in a haunted house and endure various incidents as they witness a family going mad. All right. Probably needs a little bit more explaining to do there, and I'll get to that here in a second. Fairly new film. I know it's been at some festivals, and not sure. A lot of you have probably already seen this yet, as it becomes a wider release here slowly. So we'll try to keep this spoiler free as possible. There are some twists and turns in it, so I'll try to be careful with what I give away in it. It explained a little bit about the game. I don't know if you caught it with what I just read there. There was another movie that was what is that? I See You, I think it was called. Maybe don't quote me exactly. That was on Netflix, I believe, who kind of did a similar thing, and that movie was really good. Lots of different twists and turns in that movie, and that was a really good movie. So this one kind of plays on the same kind of game, if you want to call it a game. In this one, definitely kind of two films go in a different direction. Basically, what you have here is a couple, and there's some bumps in the road with them. I don't think I don't know if they said it or not, but it didn't appear that they've been together so long that they're like a solid couple. But definitely they're trying to hang on as a couple, and the guy here finds out that the girl, at first maybe he thought maybe she was cheating or it seemed like that, but kind of finds out that she does this thing where she goes with another guy into homes and stays there to kind of trick the people into thinking that something sinister is happening in the house. And obviously videotaping this and then putting it online for people to enjoy and whatever. And then I guess on a larger scale, there's people who are enjoying these videos and so forth. And, I think at some point we find out that there's a guy who's really good at it and is kind of known as, like the ultimate one of doing these things and so forth. And that kind of plays a role in what's going on here as well. But let's just say, so the boyfriend is not totally happy with this, but he sees that it's something that's kind of important to her and she has a good time with it. He's also a little jealous because she's doing it with another guy, who they are just friends, but obviously he's a little jealous and he's not so sure about this other dude or not. So the next time she does it, he wants to go along. So he does, and obviously he's not as built for this kind of thing as she is and as this other guy is. Obviously, he's not going to get along too much with the other guy as well because obviously he's a little jealous and so forth and not sure what his relationship is with his girlfriend. So there's a little bit of that dynamic going on too. Obviously, the stakes are up, and maybe having him go on his first one, they probably should have picked a much simpler mission to go on. But apparently, they've targeted a house that is rumored to have been haunted. A couple is moving in there who kind of already has a little bit of issues amongst them. It is a mom, dad, and young child. If I remember correctly, I believe that the child is not the husband's in this, that this is, from a divorced couple and so forth. I may have got that wrong, but I think that's what was happening. So, they're also having their struggles. Let's just say, things are not fine and dandy, especially when you're buying a house that lots of people know that's haunted. You're buying it for a reason that you can't afford another house and, this and so forth. I also think the mom in this situation didn't know it was a haunted house, and the husband here did. So there's those kind of things to unpack as it is. So before they move in, the group that are playing the game, the couple and their additional friend here, are there. They've found a spot to kind of hide and live in the house. They've set up cameras all over the house so they can film some of the things. We're going to eventually see, so the film is part kind of found footage. You see a lot of that going on, a lot of views from the cameras. The family is going to move in, and then you're going to see, the three of them kind of start to kind of play tricks on the family. But then kind of as it goes on, obviously the couple's kind of staying in one place. The other dude is kind of staying in another place within the house, and hiding. So then, like I said, the boyfriend here, he has a little bit more of a conscience. He's not, so keen on pushing the boundaries and whatever. So he starts is kind of questioning, some of the tricks that they're playing. Is it the other guy? Is it not? Is it because the house is haunted? The relationship, as you kind of see, is a little off amongst the couple as it is. So, and obviously stuff starts happening with the young child, and that's kind of an issue for the boyfriend, and he doesn't think that that's kind of right and fair and whatever. So there are times where he really wants to interject, but his girlfriend is like, no, we don't interject. We leave it for whatever it is. So as it kind of goes on, the stakes are kind of rising there, and so forth. I don't want to go too much further. Obviously, you're going to find out, what happens to his family. Is the house haunted or not? And what truly is going on here, and what is going on with the couple and so forth. So there are some twists and turns to it. It is just not simply let's just mess with this family. While that could have been a fun movie, probably makes for better reality TV or something that you want to see on YouTube, which is what they're ultimately doing. There are some twists and turns and some moments later on in it. I think one of the problems is for the movie is I don't know. I don't know if it was the characters or the acting. I don't really get into any of the three characters. I wasn't too drawn in by them and so forth. I obviously have the boyfriend there. He's trying to be the good guy, that serves him well in certain circumstances, kind of is annoying in certain other times. I think there was probably a surprise or two, one or two things that I didn't think was going to happen that happened. I think there are one or two things that I thought was going to happen that did happen. So like I said, there are a little bit of twists and turns in it, and it being a haunted house, I guess they could have, whether I'm again trying to draw the line of being spoiler free or not here, push the boundaries between, really going the haunted house direction or really going, is something else happening here? It kind of flips back and forth and trying to make you think, one thing and then maybe another. So, I don't know. I don't know what I thought of it. I guess I wasn't blown away with how it ended. Like I said, some of the stuff I kind of expected. Maybe one or two of the others I didn't. I think overall, I think the story or what they were trying to do here is pretty good. Again, I don't think, I gravitated towards these characters or maybe the acting, not that it was hard to watch, not that they did such a bad job you couldn't watch it. But maybe, I don't know, maybe, I think there's, a lot of good ideas here, but maybe, at the end, it didn't pull off to be the best thing ever. Kind of, maybe I had a little bit high expectations, wanted to like this one, saw a lot about it on social media. as it was going to be released in the festival. So I kind of wanted to maybe like it more than I ultimately did. Um, you know, like I said, kind of split on some of the twists and turns there and stuff. Um, and again, just kind of see, the good in the story and the good it could have been, and I guess I don't know, just something was just missing from it. I wanted something more than it gave me. It tried to draw up some of the tension at the end and suspense. Um, it did all right in that. Again, I think when some of the twists that happens when you know that it's coming, it kind of took away from it. There's like one specifically I remember, happening to one of, well, I guess two of the characters, and I think there's one that's completely obvious, another that when it, a first thing that happens, um, you know, kind of you think it's a twist, but it's kind of expected. Um, then I think there's some stuff that maybe is not as expected. I don't know. I'm kind of going back and forth, but I don't know. I guess I'm just not all aboard with everything that happened, or it just wasn't what I was looking for or what I wanted from it. Um, they're certainly going to try. They're going to try a little bit of suspense, tension with the twist. Um, but I don't know. I guess to each its own whether it lands with you or not. For me, I don't think it did. I think as far as the couple inside the house, I think there are some dramatic moments and a little bit intense. I don't think it got over the top, but a little bit intense there. And again, since you get a kind of a brief introduction to them, I don't think you totally feel as sorry for them as maybe you should, and maybe if they had introduced them a little bit earlier and maybe give you a little bit more, I think the boyfriend, has more sympathy towards what happens to them and specifically their young child than maybe you do. I mean, maybe you do for the child as well, but as far as the couple, I don't think you know too much about them or get to know a whole lot about them that you really care what happens to them at the end of the day. And they are kind of a side piece of it. I mean, really, what's really happening here is really about the couple that's playing the trick and that's going into this house to play the trick. At the end of the day, it's really about them. But I think, you do want to draw, part of the film wants to draw, some feelings towards that family that moved into the house and are part of the victims here in the story. But to me, it just doesn't land because you don't get to know too much about them or that. I mean, you get to know an okay amount about them, but I don't think enough to really matter in some of the moments that are supposed to be as intense and so forth. So, I don't know if any of that made any sense to you guys, but, I don't know. I guess at the end of the day for me is I wanted more, I wanted to like it more and just didn't. So I guess that's it for me for this one. So with that, I think I'm going to give it 2 pools of blood. Again, wanted more, was hoping for more, and I don't know, at the end of the day, it might be, again, another one of these ones that maybe if I watched it again, maybe I'd have different feelings, but also, a little bit of, seeing it from the cameras and that found footage thing, I'm not always all for in on that kind of movie either. So maybe that had to do also with it as well. So again, that's going to be 2 pools of blood out of 5 for this one. So horrorsgoryreviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews written in video. Certainly mostly video reviews as of late. So you can like, subscribe, and do everything else that everybody wants you to do here on YouTube. But if not, no worries, it is okay. I appreciate you for your time regardless, whether it's here or on Twitter, Facebook, which is also down below. So feel free to reach out to me, talk about this movie, other movies, horror, something you want me to review, and certainly the same goes for the comment section down below. Reach out to me there as well. Your thoughts on this film are definitely welcome as well. So with that, I'll catch you on the next review, horror fans.